Hey guys, just doing a demo. This is my first time actually making some wax dirt, and I had a heck of a time last year without it. I'm gonna try really hard to actually get some good video quality this year. So, try to put out a few more than last year. We'll see if it works out. So right now, this is my setup. It's September or end of August. And it's not that cold or not that hot. It's about 75 on the hottest day. So I didn't want to mess around with being so cloudy too. I didn't want to mess around with trying to make wax dirt outside. So I decided to go ahead and make it in the garage. And it's working out really well. I kind of made up my own setup here. I've never made it before. I just talked to Mike Volker out at Volker's Trapping Supplies out in Pearl City, Illinois. He actually just had his open house yesterday, so I bought a 10-pound bag of wax dirt. You'll see I'm almost halfway through it, and that was it was $25 from him. So I mean, it's pretty standard for everywhere. And I asked him some tips and pointers. They said they leave it outside. They made a box with glass over the top, so it works out really well for them. But being late in the season, not going to work out for me. I don't see many hot days coming. So this is my setup here. I'll show you. I actually had a piece of 3/4 plywood that I had laying around the garage here, and I traced out the lamp, left the little spikes out just a hair so they'd catch, and I also didn't cut the plywood down in case I planned on using a bigger tote, but I threw a tote in there. The tote is warm. It's not crazy hot. The dirt is so hot though that it's, I would say it's about 120, 130 degrees. It feels toasty when you put your hand in there. But this is what I just threw this batch in. So as you can see, I got a white light in there. I do have the infrareds. I'm gonna try that tomorrow and see if that works any better. But this worked pretty good. Figured I'd get one down before I showed you guys, but I don't know if you can see those white flakes in there. You'll see them right there. Let me see if I can grab some. You'll see those. Those are actually that's the wax. So I mixed it up. I flattened it out. I noticed that you should really kind of make sure it doesn't pile up on the edges, because then your bottom edges don't get warm. But I give it probably 2 hours in here, and every piece of dirt in there is really warm to the touch, and everything looks wet. So I think that works pretty good. We'll see. I know some people are probably freaking out about me putting my hands in the dirt, but I just talked to a bunch of trappers who have been doing this a lot longer than I've ever even thought about doing it, and every single one of them said don't worry too much about that. Just worry about the bait on the traps, or don't get bait mixed on your traps, and don't stay around your sets too long. So we'll see if I can get a coyote this year. So here's finished product. Here you can see it looks kind of it looks kind of wet. It's actually still hot. I just poured it in there. It doesn't smell burnt. I think it was 2 or 3 hours I left it in there, but it turned out really well. You see the big chunks though. I would try to sift it a little better than I did. I'm gonna try that. I gotta get a smaller screen, but these big chunks don't really get the wax on them, so that could be an issue for you, possibly. And I do have a sealed container. It's gonna stay sealed. I'm gonna actually put it in the shed when it's time. Not the first shed. Can't afford one of those yet. Oh, instead of mixing the dirt by hand, I've got this nifty paint mixer. Works out just fine. And then here's my end product here. I sprinkled some dirt on top to see if it would do anything, but it as you can see, it's been in there for about 10 minutes and nothing is wet. So I would say success. It's working out really well. This year I'm going to utilize this stuff quite a bit. As you can see, some of the trapping stuff I got, that's for chickens. That is not for trapping. I went out and got some crawfish oil yesterday. I got some more coyote urine, acetone, obviously. Oh, this is the antifreeze I used last year. Pete Rickards, Trappers or antifreeze. I'll show you that. Let me get that opened up. That's what she looks like. It's like a baking soda consistency, but what it comes down to, it's salt. It's like salt. I mean, it wrecked my trap. I sprinkled it on there, and I wouldn't say wrecked completely, but I sprinkled it down on there, and it I guess I just didn't like what it did. It rusted the hell out of them, and I was kind of warned by that, but I didn't take the advice when I should have. So this year I went with wax dirt, and we're going to see how it works out. Another thing I'm going to be looking into, or I'm going to show you guys some tutorials on, or reviews, is I had one 220 last year, and I had it in this bucket here. Let me see if I can get that down for you. Let's see. Alright. Take it over to the workbench. If you've seen any of my other videos, you can see that I built a new workbench. I got tired of the mess I had. Alright, so here's the bucket I used. It's got to get cleaned out, but it's got slots in it. And this thing was a killer. I couldn't believe it. Somebody told me about it to try it. This is actually my cousin's bucket. He made it and gave it to me, and then I went and got a bunch of square buckets. But the way your 220 fits in these is just perfect. They just fit perfect in there. And a 160 will work in here too. 160s fit just fine in there too. I went with 220s because I wanted to fill the whole bucket. And I had an instance last year where I caught a skunk with a 160. Thought she was dead. She was not. So that was kind of a bummer. But all right, we'll go back to the wax dirt now. So this is the wax dirt. Here's the setup one more time. I'll drop that down in there, and I put a chain on it because I didn't want it to get away from me. And I did leave the guard on it in case it fell down into the side for some reason. She fits perfect. There's the setup. I made sure to kind of get it centered on the bucket so that it's not pushing too far onto the sides. I don't want to heat up the sides too much. I'm not worried about the bucket. I'm worried about fires. So, and then here's the end product one more time. Make sure you put that in a sealed container. I was told the garbage can works good, a brand new garbage can with a lid. But I was told that wax can kind of like almost evaporate. So if you make a couple 50-gallon buckets full and you don't use it for the next few years, I mean, I guess that can start to evaporate out of there, and you start losing the waxed properties. So you want to keep it kind of covered, kind of tight. Other videos that are going to come up this year, I'm going to be building a skinning machine. I fought right here with skinning coyotes. I fought it. I love it. But I got my hands on some Unistrut, some double Unistrut, and I have a free winch. Or no, I paid 20 bucks for an electric winch, which is somewhere in here. And gonna get some pulleys and get the welder out and get it going. See if I can get something done. I'm gonna open that access up, and I can go 15 feet high in this garage. I got 8-foot ceilings, but I got 15 to the peak, and that's right in the center of the garage. So I'm gonna open that up for me, and then frame it up and get that all taken care of. Another thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to review the MB550. I'm gonna try to get a hold of those new Duke 550s. They're actually pretty cheap. I think Volkers was selling them $145 for a dozen during that open house yesterday. I think he opened it up to $150 a dozen now. So if you want them, he said the prices are just going to keep going up. So you better get on them now. I don't think they're even advertised. I would give them a call. So I already put this in the dishwasher. Got the oil off. But I'm going to go ahead and review these against the Square Jaw and the Bridger Square Jaw and the Duke Square Jaw I have. So we all know who's going to win. It's going to be this guy. But I think people sometimes want to know why, if they can't afford the MB550, which I won this one yesterday during his open house. If they can't afford them when they start, hopefully it gives them incentives, like I have incentive to buy these when the time comes. I mean, just setting it, it's like a dream. It is so ready right out of the box. But also another video. So, well, thanks for coming to see my videos. Hopefully I can get some more out this year. One of these days I'm going to get a GoPro, and I'm going to get out there, strap it to my chest, and take you guys on my small trap lines. I just today acquired a couple more, maybe a mile and a half more of trap line, and I walk the whole thing before work every morning. I don't have a four-wheeler or nothing yet. I got a snowmobile, but it's up north, so I usually leave it up there. Don't really mess around with it. So, I'll strap it to my chest and do like a speed walk through the trap line so you guys can see what I see every day. Hopefully we can get on the coons this year, get some serious coon numbers in instead of the 12 I got last year. I'll tell you what though, it's August and I am itching to get at this. My traps are hanging up in the shed, and every day I think about, should I go get them down, start tweaking them, playing with them? It's like, no, otherwise they're just going to be sitting around. It's an addiction now. That's all I think about lately. Well, not all I think about. I went squirrel hunting today with the kids. I need to start videoing that stuff for you guys. Took my two daughters, she's 6 and the other one's 3. Squirrel hunting, we got one. They were pretty pumped about it. And next weekend I'm doing another squirrel hunt. September 1st is dove opening day. I think I'm going to bring the video camera out and do some recording of that. Me and my buddy Jason are going to hammer them out there. I made a dove tree. Pretty easy out of conduit. So try to get some of those videos up for you. Try to get this channel moving because I like to have fun. And now that I got these new braces on my legs, it's been a year and a half now that I've had them. I mean, that's all I think about is fun and getting out and enjoying the outdoors. So, thanks for enjoying it with me. Have a good one. Bye, guys.